Welcome everyone to the beautiful Golden Triangle in Victoria on a beautiful spring morning. Look, I've just got a letter back from VEAC in terms of my submission, in terms of the parks and some of their recommendations around that. So I just thought I'd just chuck together a bit of a video, and it's really about a definition of basically what a prospector is. So I think what I want to show in this video is that we're not recreational users, we're actually a massive part of what a connected community is. So, you know, while we go around and we go through the bush and, you know, we look at, you know, stuff, some of the primary stuff like rocks, so we're very much geologists, because we need to find the indicator rocks to find our gold. We also are very, very good botanists, because we understand that some certain trees and shrubs grow either in shallow grounds, which may actually hold gold, or might be even deeper ground, or it might be ground that's a little bit more fertile, which may show other indicators. So there's that. And I think the other part is that a lot of us are naturists. We're biologists as well. Some of the best wildlife photography is taken within our groups, and this is another massive part about what we are. We love the bush. This is what we come for. We don't necessarily all come for the gold. Gold is a great thing that we find while we're out here, but we don't find gold every single time. And it's important to realise that we're here as part of a connected community. Thousands of us every day, especially on the weekends, come out. We bring a lot of money to the community. We work with the community to on charity events. So some of the big gold digs, so Lanakuri, all that money goes to cancer. Ararat Gold Dig, or the Gold Festival there, all of that goes to groups there. The Wedderburn Detecting Jamboree, all of that goes into Wedderburn tourism. We add so much value. We bring people from interstate, international visitors to Victoria. So we're all part of a connected community. We're not here as a recreational user. We're part of the fabric of Victoria. Yeah, I think there's some further stuff to add, especially in, you know, going on to technology. With us out in the field, you know, we can add a lot of value to a lot of other different organisations and government organisations. So if you think of things such as fire risk, so, you know, develop apps, send them out to the prospecting clubs and so forth, so we can actually take photos of what the fuel loads are like in these areas. If you want to get information about some of the different biology and natural species and so forth, we're in the bush every single day. There's not 1,000 people from Sustainability Victoria, from DELP, from EPA Victoria. They're not out here. We're out here. If you want information about our beautiful bush, give us some access to stuff like this, and we'll provide you with enough information so we can all enhance the actual usability of this bush. Look, one of the other things that I want to sort of have a chat to you about is about the actual fabric of not only Victoria but Australia was built off the gold rush. And I want to tell a lot of people, especially when you're in the city, you don't actually have to physically come out to the beautiful bush and see some of the history out in the gold fields. But when you go into the cities, even in Sydney, probably more Melbourne, because Melbourne was one of the richest at the time, was one of the richest cities in the world. Look up, look at the architecture, look at how rich, look at the basis, the fabric of what we are about Victorians. It's a really, really important part of what we are, and we need to protect access for future generations, for people who are going in and are actually physically adding value. We add value to the community, we add value to the bush as well. One of the other things that I just wanted to share with you is the fact that yes, I'm a prospector, multi-generation prospector, but I'm also have a job outside of this. So I'm a meteorologist. I've done climate science, recognised expert witness in multiple court cases, written industry guidelines, both national and international guidelines, trained up a lot of government agencies around climate change adaptation. And one of the key parts about climate change adaptation is that connectivity and that information. You shut people out of areas, they become havens for arsonists. What you have is, going forward in our changing climate, is you have more cataclysmic conditions, which basically will run through, have hot burns and primary succession and so forth of the regrowth of these areas will just take multi years and actually destroy the natural capital of these areas. So it's very, very important that we and others have access to these areas, because it allows people, and especially our fireys, to get clear access into these areas, to get clear information about these areas. Again, talking about technology and so forth, we can provide information on fuel loads. We can chase up if there's any people that we think are a little bit dodgy looking in some of those areas. Even as far as the fact that a lot of our prospecting groups on Clean Up Australia Day go out and clean up some of this bush, some of these areas which can be can add to sort of fire load and so forth. So it's we're not all mad people out here with gold fever, digging holes everywhere and just destroying our natural beauty. This is really part of us. We're part of a wider community. Yeah, look, to sum up, I think VEAC has the authority to make a number of recommendations, and I think one of the recommendations should actually be that prospectors should actually have greater access to Crown land, because of the fact that we connect communities. We make the actual natural bush more resilient. We provide access. We provide information, and that's all. We're talking into a future where these things will rule our life. The ability to actually provide things real time, GPS logged, be able to actually find people as well. I know I've got friends that know the bush so well, you could actually just show them a tree along a track and they'll know exactly where it is. Why is that? Because they know the geology, they know the botany of the area. They put 1, 2 and 3 together and say, I've been along that track. You take people out of those areas become very, very, and people who do access those areas will then obviously be fairly fragile, especially if they're not used to these areas. So what I'm basically saying is this is a great opportunity for us to not only put ourselves up as we're recreational users and we have not necessarily a right, but we are adding value to the community in these areas. But VEAC should actually look at it in a much more holistic area and basically say, actually, prospectors should have greater access to Victoria because of the value add that we provide to not only the community but to the natural capital of the bush.